What's up guys, Ruppy here, very belatedly welcoming you to my Week 9 game for the Breejax Battle Royale against the Vancouver Titangs coached by Gray. So, I'm actually recording this, or at least what little bit is still missing from this beforehand, but I do have an update video I'm working on that will further explain everything, so I will leave it to that. That will be actually uploaded first, even though I'm getting to that after I finish up with this. I want to get all my content in order for the day. I apologize that this is not, and the succeeding BBR videos are not going to be in the format I have been trying to do them in all season, the format that I prefer to do, me being all creative and flexing my design skills and making things look nice and pretty for you guys. I sincerely apologize. All will be explained in the update video. It will probably be in a card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen once I get everything uploaded and live and in order and all that. I'm not really going to have a roster breakdown. This is why you're kind of seeing something completely different, which is just a screenshot of a poke paste of the team I brought to this game. I actually did have a team builder recorded for this game. However, now that I'm finally in a good enough state of mind to be able to actually get all of these edited and out like they should have been by now, which again I deeply apologize for. The team builder footage for this unfortunately got corrupted somewhere along the line. I don't know how, I don't know what happened. And because it's been several weeks since I actually played this game, I honestly do not remember off the top of my head the rationale behind a lot of the sets I brought. And I really don't want to spend any further time trying to hunt that down or try to refigure out why I brought what I did. So I figured the best thing I could do would just be to throw up a paste so you know exactly what I did bring to this game, and just apologize profusely because that's something I'm going to be doing a lot of with these videos, unfortunately, because, well, the update video will explain everything. But this is the team I'm bringing. I'm not going to hold this up any further, so let's go ahead and get into the game, shall we? Alright, it is battle time! This is happening a little later than we thought. Tiny bit of miscommunication that kind of got this game pushed back a tiny bit, but it's perfectly fine because it'll still be done and ready to go up at the proper time, now that I'm pretty sure I've got everything back on track for myself. So let's get into this and see how well this goes, shall we? Alright, so let's see what I'm up against. He brought the Lux Ray. Interesting. There's Keldeo. I am not surprised to see Weavile, not at all. Skarmory's of little surprise as well. Vileplume. And Goodra. So, for the most part, I think I kind of expected this. Actually, I'm a little surprised to not see Invading now that I think about it. I figured he was going to try to start a terrain war with me, but apparently he decided not to do that. Gonna be interesting to see what Luxray does this game. I guess with that in mind, part of me really wants to lead with Big Daddy Claw and try to blow something up right away. I don't know if that's the wisest move, because I could see him leading Luxray. I think I'll play this semi-safe. I'll lead Prodigy and see what happens. Because at least with Prodigy, I can U-turn on out, depending how things go. Half of my team is Choice, so this is gonna be interesting to say the least. Good luck, have fun, Gray. And let's see if my Swoo can get back on track after the absolute meltdown we had last week, now that I am in a much, much, much better state of mind, thankfully. So he is going to lead with the Luxray. So we get to find out what this thing is capable of right out of the gate, I guess. So if he is Guts, it wouldn't be activated yet, but this thing can still do a ton of damage. So if I were to just U-turn out right now, ideally what would I want to go into? Nothing kind of really wants to take this thing out. Luxray is actually a bit of a problem the more I think about it now. I'm going to go ahead and U-turn out, though, just to go ahead and get the initiative, get some chip off on this thing, and then go from there. So this one is better than nothing. And we will see how he wants to play this. So thanks to Liberal, I'm going to become a bug type. We are going to get right on out of here. Take a nice chunk out of Luxray in the process. And... oh! Well, this is off to a great start already. Alright, we are trying this again. So, we had a turn 1 disconnect, which, glad it happened early in the game and not much later. That would have been a nightmare. So, we are doing the same leads, and we don't have to go very far as recreation, thankfully, because we got as far as my Raboot U-turning out on this Luxray, and that's about it. So I'm going to proceed to do that again, and then we'll pretty much be all caught up. So, I know it's hard to tell kind of in between, but it's taken us a solid, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, maybe even 20 at this point, just to try to get back just to this point where we're actually playing again. This is the second time we've actually tried to play this game. In the face of this, now that we're back to here... I don't remember what I was going to switch into originally. I think I'm going to go into Neopert, though. I honestly don't remember what I tried to switch into before, but Neopert, I think, was probably my play regardless. So we should be back to just about where we would need to be. As he goes Superpower. Which, well, Neopert kind of takes that. It is an attack and defense fall. I'm going to get HP back with my Grassy Terrain. And he is in fact Flame Orb, so that's good to know. I'm actually going to be trying to keep a log now, just so we have an idea of what's actually going on at this point. I'm going to go ahead and high horsepower because it will kill this thing. I don't think he stays in, but on the off chance he does, because Rillaboom naturally outspeeds Luxray. Yeah, he's not staying in. And right into Skarmory. So, now that we have that knowledge, I'm gonna go into the Ruin. As he sets up rocks. Which is actually kind of fine. Because I don't think the Skarm can really touch me, and honestly, considering this thing is... I'm going to go ahead and set up Toxic Spikes. As he goes into Vileplume. Which kind of works just because of the fact that... I mean, I'm fine with that just because of the fact that he's not actually getting rid of my T-Spikes at this point. I'm actually going to stay in and set up a second layer. Because I'm free to do so. He's not getting rid of them that easily. Well, I mean, Vileplume's already in, so it can't absorb the one I've already set. So that's 2 layers of T-Spikes for me. He can probably switch... as he Petal Dances. Oof. Okay, right, I forgot. Grassy Terrain. Though... Petal Dance. Interesting. The fact that he did so much without a crit tells me he's got to have some kind of investment on this thing. This thing has got to actually be quite offensive if that's what happened. And that said, I could easily just go into Prodigy and smash this thing with a Flare Blitz. And I think that's what I'm going to actually do. It does look like the terrain's gone, which is a bonus. I do take rocks damage, unfortunately. That is definitely a thing. So, I'm just going to go ahead and Flare Blitz this thing. Because it's locked in. So I'm free to get this off. If he's a more offensive Vileplume, doesn't quite get the kill. And I'm actually going to lose Prodigy to that. Okay. And he's snapping out of it. Wonderful. This is not quite how I wanted this to go. So, this thing has some offense to it. Though, that said, I'm going to send in Entrapta. This thing has some bulk and it also somehow has enough special offense to actually be able to be a threat to me. I'm going to sub because I honestly feel he's going to switch this thing out to try to preserve it and get around the confusion. Especially since he would need to bring it back in to reabsorb my Toxic Spikes. Unless Skarm's got Defog, but he's getting rid of his own rocks if that's the case. So I feel relatively safe getting behind a sub right about now. Yeah, he's going to switch out. I figured as much. And goes into Goodra. Which is going to get Toxic, which is actually really nice to help chip this thing down. As I'm going to be able to get Entrapta safely behind a sub. And now we work from here to try to start seeing what kind of Goodra this is. If he's AV, I can't really touch it. But I can still chip away at it at least. So, that said, I think my safest course of action right now is to body press until I can get some more intel on this Goodra. The T-Spikes are definitely going to wear this thing down. I outspeed it. Huh. Good to see some of that speed creeping I was playing with actually came into effect. He goes straight Fire Blast. Okay, good to know on that. So he does have Fire Blast, which is nice to know. I could honestly probably go into Hat right now. And I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. Because I can definitely take a Fire Blast if he is, I can definitely take a Fire Blast if he goes for that again, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does. You know, in retrospect, I actually probably could outstall this thing, too, with subs, considering he is toxic from my, from Tentacruel's T-Spikes. So, nope, he's gonna switch as well. Back into Vileplume to get rid of the T-Spikes. Good. Good to know. So then, how do we proceed from here? I know I don't outspeed this thing, because Empathy is not fast at all. I've got no problem with setting up a Trick Room, though, and then going from there. I can take a Sludge Bomb from this thing. He goes Pedal Dancing again. Which almost kills. Okay, what kind of Are you a Specs Vileplume? I honestly think this thing is Specs. I mean, he's trapped in here with me, so I'm free to just fire off a Psychic and kill this thing. So Vileplume is dead and gone now, finally. And I'm going to be able to get some HP back as well, which is always appreciated. I mean, downside is Hat's just about dead at this point. If he brings in Weavile and Ice Shards, he definitely picks me off. I would honestly not be surprised that, yep, that is exactly what he's going to do. So I guess the question now becomes, is this thing banded? Honestly, I'm going to switch into Entrapta. Because I can definitely take an Ice Shard. If need be. Yep, he's going to Ice Shard. That did a sizable chunk. I want to say this thing is banned. I saw no Life Orb recoil. I do outspeed this thing. You know what? I'm going to set up a sub. We'll see how he wants to play this. Considering Trick Room's up, there's no way he's keeping this thing in. So out's going to come Goodra, which is perfectly fine with me. So we are back to this song and dance now. I'm going to get Leftovers back. Probably should have just gone straight for the body press, and I was kind of considering it. Let's see, how many turns of Trick Room do I have left? This is my last turn. I'm going to go ahead and body press, because I know for sure that... I don't know if this Goodra's AV or not, but I know for sure... Oh, right. I outsped Goodra. So, that is actually fine. So I'm still free to get this body press off. We're just going to wear Goodra down even further. I get Leftovers back. He's going to take toxic damage. My Trick Room's going to wear off. And this is the song and dance we now sit at. So I guess that said, I'm going to go back into Empathy now. I guess kind of sacking it off. If the rocks don't take it out, Goodra certainly will. I mean, I really don't think he dies to Toxic this turn, but I don't want to waste the sub. I don't want to waste the HP from trying to sub-stall him. Just because of the fact that I still think I'm going to need Entrapta. And Empathy is kind of, sort of, on its last legs anyway. He goes Focus Blast, so he's not choiced. So I lose Empathy, which is actually fine. Not the worst thing in the world. We're just going to take toxic damage and not quite die from it. Which is fine. I want to see something quick. I mean, I can go back into Entrapta. But... actually, I have a better idea. I'm going to go into Neopert. Because I easily kill this thing with a U-turn. And we can go from there. So I'm just going to go ahead and U-turn out. It kills Goodra. If he wants to go into Skarmory, which I really don't know why he would, unless he's really adamant on preserving Goodra for Death Fodder for some reason. I mean, he would get Switch Initiative out of this. But at this point, I would rather that. Just because once I see what he goes into, I can kind of work around it a little better at that point. So I am going to pick this Goodra off, which is perfectly fine with me. I really don't think he has any idea that Neopert is Scarfed. Which might come in handy on the Weavile. So that said, I think I'm going to go back into Entrapta, because then I get an idea of exactly how he wants to play from here. Because unless his Skarmory has Body Press, I really don't see him sending it in on Entrapta. I could definitely see Weavile, which would mean a low kick is incoming. What about Keldeo? I guess Keldeo would kind of depend on what it is, I suppose. Well, speak of the devil, there it is. So this becomes interesting now. Neopert can kind of take this thing on. It definitely threatens. But I can't outright decimate it while Skarm is still around with Grassy Glides. If I switch it in now, I definitely die to a Secret Sword. I honestly think I just T-Bolt and let Entrapta go here. I hate that logic, but he goes Aura Sphere. Alrighty then. I didn't even realize this thing got Aura Sphere. So, that said then, I'm going to send out Big Daddy Claw. And we're going to see how this works out. So I can definitely take an Aura Sphere from this thing. And I was going to go ahead and fire off a Terrain Pulse since I saw my Grassy Terrain up. He's going to hit me with Aura Sphere, which is perfectly fine. Clawitzer can take this, even if he Specs. That doesn't look like Specs damage, actually. So, Grassy Terrain, boosted Terrain Pulse, and that's the end of Keldeo. So that's one bright spot to this. And my Terrain is still in effect, which is equal parts good and bad. Let's see. If he goes into Skarm, then I'm kind of in a bit of a pickle. Well, if he goes into Luxray, I'm in a bit of a pickle too. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think he's got me. This season is absolutely falling apart for me at this point. Yep. There is the Luxray. Let's see. I'm just going to go Neopert at this point. I really probably shouldn't be preserving Big Daddy Claw, but at this point, I kind of can't really do much with Neopert so long as Skarm's around, which is a problem. He goes for Facade, and that's definitely going to kill Neopert. And that's going to be ball game there. I severely doubt that crit mattered. I severely doubt it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that this season has absolutely started falling apart on me. I don't know what happened. But here's to hoping that after this week, I can somehow try to find a way to pick it up and finish strong, because I think I'm running into the risk of actually falling out of playoffs at this point. I know this is a fruitless move, but I guess I just want to see for my own peace of mind. Yeah, we'll just go Water Pulse. I severely doubt it matters, because I'm definitely dropping at this point. Yep, there's the Wild Charge, and that's the end of Clawitzer. GG, Gray. Oy vey, this season is definitely taking a turn for the worse for me, to say the least. I honestly don't know what is happening. Maybe I'm stressing myself out between the sheer number of leagues I'm playing, work on top of everything. I don't know. Somehow I definitely need to find a way to get a handle on this and get everything back in order, because at this point that drops me to 5-4 minus 3, which I'm almost positive puts me in a position where I'm just barely hanging on to playoffs, but not by much. I definitely need to start winning to turn this season around. Otherwise, everything is just going to slip right through my fingers. Still, I hope you guys enjoyed the battle regardless, despite all the issues that Gray and I had trying to actually make this happen. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.